Okay, in this video, I'm going to discuss a hard cutover to NetSuite versus soft cutover, what this means and what the pros and cons are of each approach. So the question that we're trying to address is, should we close our prior month's financial statements in QuickBooks or should we close that in NetSuite? And really, the core issue here is that, and I see this all the time, clients want to go live on 1/1 and they're going to say, hey, my old system will have all of my prior year's financials and my new system, NetSuite, is going to have all of my new current year financial statements. Now, that sounds good in theory, but the issue is that the accounting team usually takes a couple days or a couple weeks to close the fiscal year, right? So you don't have prior year financial statements on 1/1, right? It usually takes a couple weeks. And so the cutover approach is really determining how do you handle that couple day or that couple week period where your accounting team is closing the fiscal year or the fiscal quarter, or the fiscal month, whatever it is. Should that be done in QuickBooks or should it be done in NetSuite? So a hard cutover is when you basically set a last posting date. Say it's the Thursday before a Monday go live. And you basically say, by that Thursday, all of our transactions are going into QuickBooks. And after Thursday end of day, no more transactions get posted in QuickBooks. We're going to turn off all of our user access. We're going to turn off all of our integrations. And then at that point, say Friday morning, the team works to prepare the open transactions and the final historical TB. They load that, and then hopefully by Monday, your last trial balance in QuickBooks ties to the opening trial balance in NetSuite. And then at that point forward, you're only posting transactions in NetSuite. So that's what I would call the hard cutover approach. A soft cutover is when you go live with NetSuite on that Monday and you're entering new transactions, let's say from 1/1 forward, anything that's related to fiscal year 24, we're entering into NetSuite, but anything that's related to 2023, we're entering into QuickBooks. And we're working on our normal kind of close schedule. Once AP is closed, then we lock AP in QuickBooks, and then we do our open AP load. Say that's on the 3rd. And then once we close AR on the 7th, we lock AR in QuickBooks, and then we load open AR into NetSuite. Now, the downside of this is that if you have some delays, right? So you can't enter, if a payment comes in from a customer on January 3rd for an invoice that's dated in 2023, you can't enter that payment because no invoice to apply it against because you haven't loaded that open AR yet. Right, so it's kind of that timing lag that can lead to potential reconciliation issues. And because of that, that's why I typically recommend to my clients that you use the hard cutover approach. That's always the approach that I recommend, unless the one caveat is you need to discuss with your financial statement auditors if they're okay with that approach. And in the next video, I have a sample email that you can actually send to your auditors of documentation that you're going to provide. I would definitely encourage that hard cutover. In my opinion, if you can document that your closing TB in QuickBooks ties to your opening TB in NetSuite, that should be good enough for most auditors unless there's something unique in your situation. So with that kind of explains a hard cutover approach versus the soft cutover. And making that decision is really important because it's going to drive the schedule and the timing of when you load those historical TBs and when you load the open AP and the open AR. Okay, that's hard cutover versus soft cutover. We'll see you in the next